With Cyberpunk being the absolute dumpster fire that it was when it came out, I decided it would be fun to go back and look at another game that launched with a couple of its problems of its own. Let me go ahead and introduce you to a game called Assassin's Creed Unity. One of the new features brought in by this Assassin's Creed game is the civilians having the ability to phase shift through walls and other people, such as this fine gentleman right here. And I have to say, Ubisoft did a wonderful job with the face of this person. He looks absolutely terrified and confused on what just happened, and that's the type of thing I look for in a Ubisoft game.
I just had a nice chat with your brother. Hugo, fetch the marshals. Hold on a minute.
Now it's quite subtle here, but you can actually see a man parkouring in the background. I know it's a little bit hard to believe, kind of a Where's Waldo type scenario where if you don't actively look for it, you're gonna miss it. But here, I absolutely love that Ubisoft put in civilians that can parkour themselves, and it's a great nod to the Assassin's Creed universe. Now for this next part, I'm not really going to play this clip with audio because you don't really need the audio part to see the full immersion of this section. I mean, it's just absolutely blown, breathtaking. That Ubisoft definitely broke the bank here, setting up the visuals for this little section that we have here. I don't really know what the main character did to get to the nine circles of hell right here, but whatever he did, he must have done something absolutely horrible. I mean, just look at it. It looks like being teleported to the Shadow Realm. It's just absolutely horrifying. Or maybe I'm thinking about this in the wrong way. Maybe it's not a place of eternal damnation. Maybe it's an alternate universe that exists beyond our universe, kind of like the Upside Down in Stranger Things, you know? Like a universe that exists but looks exactly like our universe. It's a theory that could work out. I mean, we have here, right here, we have a person here with a bunch of candles. The only thing that seems familiar in this alternate universe is people and candles. So I guess so. Coming up here is when it starts to make sense now, when you get to see the four kings right up in their thrones. When you realize, hey, wait a minute, is this a nod to Dark Souls? And I'll just go ahead and play the clip here. It is. This is the exact situation you find yourself in Dark Souls in one of the boss fights. So it's really cool that Ubisoft definitely made this level for a gentle nod towards Dark Souls, and I really appreciate that as a fan. I'm definitely into it. In this next clip here, you're gonna see a huge battle is happening here, and sort of a dialogue is happening between two guys. If you look closely here, you can see some random NPC getting killed as they're having this conversation. It's just wonderful to see because time doesn't stop when your character is having the conversation. So like even if you're stopping to have this dialogue here, there's people dying waiting on you, and I just love how they made this game so realistic.
This morning, I was accosted by three men carrying some poor soul's head atop a pike. Seems they mistook my uniform for a mark of nobility and demanded I shout, "Long live the Republic," to prove my allegiance.
I suppose handing out tricolor cockades is
Now you're probably thinking to yourself, who is that woman and why is she running? Well, if you knew the absolute disaster that was about to befall into this room, you would be running too.
But this is what happens when you give command of the government to half-starved lunatics and command of the army to bloodthirsty savages.
Rui.
I wanted him assigned to some out-of-the-way garrison. The man redefines the term friends in high places as untouchable.
But you know where I can find him.
Vous êtes en affaire
Rumor
avec
about
le
the
sage de
barracks is that
Jade?
he and a unit of his cronies plan on marching on the Grand Châtelet.
Now, all of a sudden, we're introduced to a new character in this story. It's kind of weird that he's trying to activate his conversation while you're talking to another guy, but I mean, if he has something to say to you, it's probably important. I'm sure what you're gonna need to do is take the two conversation and put it into a cipher, kind of like a coded message, as you will. I like how the camera just pans out to reveal another person in the same room as you and this guy. And he's just staring right down at your character. Like he's not even acknowledging the third person in the room. It's so great. It's wonderful.
This afternoon. If he were to meet with an accident, few in France
Pourquoi vous
would
ne vous
suffer.
servez pas de la porte comme les gens normaux?
Korea certainly wouldn't.
Tuez-les! Et faites
Practice your speech making.
Quoi? Pourquoi que vous... Pourquoi?
Now here we can see you suffering the consequences of your action here, ignoring the Mad Hatter for far too long. He's clearly upset and he's out for blood. And he's goading you for a fight here, and you just start to run away from him, and he starts doing the chicken dance on you. He starts taunting you, and you have no choice but to run away because of how horrifying and intimidating he is. I hope during the span of this video I'd convince you that Assassin's Creed Unity isn't for the casual gamer. It's more for the hardcore gamers out there who can take the abuse and punishment that this game has to offer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.